cemeteries are emerging all over the country, and we're finding out more and more about the significance and the lessons that cemeteries bring to the larger public. We have got to save this sacred area.
At one point in time, this property was a place where white members of a Methodist church were buried. The land was sold for the purposes to bury free blacks and slaves who resided in the area. Not only were black and white to live separately, but they were also to be buried separately.
This cemetery represented one of the oldest areas in Washington for African Americans, and we knew very little of the history. So the cemetery represented an opportunity for us to gain an appreciation for this rich legacy that was right here.
This became an area of tremendous amount of respect and inspiration for the black folks that lived in Georgetown at the time. Over the years, unfortunately, it fell into disrepair. People died off, moved away, and it was under consideration to be sold to some developers. A gentleman by the name of Vince DeForest, along with my father, Neville Waters Jr., embarked upon an effort to prevent the sale of this beautiful property to some developers.
The wholeness of a people is diminished if the ancestors are not honored. We are going to try to help save this area.
I go, and we're asking for God's attention. We're saying, excuse me, we know God is busy.
We recently received a grant from the Community of Arts and Humanities. As part of the grant, we are undertaking a survey to determine where bodies are buried. There could be as many as 2,500. There's also some other records that indicate that there could be anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000.
Today we're running the ground penetrating radar, and like the name implies, it uses radio waves, our radar signals, to try to detect things below ground. So the Mount Zion Cemetery should take about a week, maybe a week and a half to complete, but we're going to do it in 2 phases compared to many cemeteries from the 1800s. Some have become basketball courts and soccer fields.
You remember that you are heirs to a remarkable legacy, that these members of Georgetown, even those who sleep the final sleep of peace across the way, were proud of their community, conscious of their origins. They were taller than the obstacles that they faced.
We all need to be a part of this conversation. We don't have the luxury of time because developers are developing. 1820, Georgetown's population was almost 40% African American. We have no sense of the history of this space. We've got to do better.
Part of our ambition is to create a historic memorial park that recognizes the people who were here, provides inspiration for future generations, as well as educating about the rich history that black people had in Georgetown.